Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire podcast.
This is Trevor Harris.
Hey, how you doing? This is number 58, Travis Bond.
This is Christoph Malomba Chimanga.
Hey there, this is your co-host, Kenny Stafford.
Hey, this is Ryan King.
Calvin McCarty.
And you are listening to...
You're listening to the Eskimos Empire.
Listening to the Eskimo Empire podcast.
The Eskimo Empire podcast. Hope you guys enjoy listening.
Welcome back to the Turf District. It is week 1 of the CFL season, and we are back here to talk some Eskimos football. I'm Andrew, and we are a part of the Canadian Football Podcast Network, so make sure that you check out all the great shows at cfpodnetwork.ca. Vibrating with excitement to my left is the one and only Superfan, Mike.
Hi.
Well... played?
Yeah, no, it's football week finally.
Oh, it's finally here.
We get to see the guys actually playing. We get to see a starting lineup finally. This is going to be exciting.
Ooh, a starting lineup even.
I know.
Oh, all number ones.
That's right.
I'm excited. Yes. Unfortunately,
no one gets to wear number 1.
No, that's very true. Yeah. Good point.
Yes.
Yes, we learned
discussed that last week.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, yeah. Unfortunately, Commissioner Kayla has come down with a case of raptor fever.
Yep.
So she is not with us this evening, but we are very lucky to have a returning guest in the one and only JT. How are you, man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing very, very well. Thank you for coming back and joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
We have so much to do this week, including looking into our crystal balls. That is not what I meant.
Yes, it is.
Probably.
Yep.
But still, we're going to make predictions and junk like that. I shouldn't have said junk either. Anyway, that's good.
Just not getting any better.
All right, now, Superfan, we talked about it a bit on Periscope. We got to talk about what we did on the weekend.
We did.
We played a little cold snap.
Yes.
And live tweeted our game between Hamilton and Calgary, at least 5 minutes into the third quarter. So we got to have Westivus, so that was good.
We didn't have anyone retired their number this time, but
no,
that's okay.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to do that. But it was so fun.
Yeah, people that don't know Cold Snap, it's a fairly new game. It's about 10 years old. It's a football strategy.
Fairly
game.
new in Mike's world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only 10.
Right. I'm just saying. I mean, I've got games from the 50s. Yeah, so it's a dice-based game, dice and sheets, and you just roll, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you get to
way more exciting than I'm explaining it. So.
Yeah, you call your play, and our
defense.
Our better halves just sat beside us and went, seriously, you find this fun? Yes, it's very fun.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm going for a long pass. That's what I'm doing. Yeah,
I've got my +2 sword.
That's pretty much. It's like CFL D&D. It's outstanding. I love it.
Oh boy.
We're taking it back into the basement where it belongs.
We're going to do like a whole hour episode of Cold Snap later in the season, I think, just for fun on a bye week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. If anyone is interested, check it out. It's at plaay.com.
Absolutely. I thought it was a
We need more people to play.
It was a ton of fun. Yes. Now, JT, did you do anything fun on the weekend?
I went golfing. I don't know if you consider it fun in that weather, but yeah.
Do you roll dice for that?
No.
Oh, too bad. Because play.com might have a version of golf.
That's very true.
It's the Thistle Curling Club golf tournament.
So, nice.
Oh, very nice.
Where Mr. Sean Waite also curls.
Yes, yes. All right. And was he out of the tournament?
No, it was.
Does he go to the front tees?
It wasn't him for cut down day, but he kind of needed to be around.
You gotta.
It was a busy day.
It's busy.
Yeah. But yes, he does get to use the front tees. They're no longer called ladies tees.
No.
2019, you can't say that.
That's right, little guy tees.
The front tees.
That's right.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm glad that we've cleared that up. Are you like all into Raptor Mania, or?
I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, I've never really got into basketball in a big way. I mean, I'm happy for them, but and I follow the score, but I'm not watching any more basketball.
We the bandwagon. Come on.
We the bandwagon.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's very good. Well, should we talk some Esks news?
Yeah, that's something we can talk about.
Let's get to that, because we all know that. So, cut down day, as you said, came this past Saturday. We'll just run over some of the releases here and things. So, National Offensive Lineman Kwabena Asare.
That's sad.
That is sad because Kwabena's one of my favorite personalities and probably one of my favorite interviews. So that was a tough one.
Before we get into the cuts, though, I think people have to remember that just because someone was cut doesn't mean we're not going to see them again. Bryant Mitchell cut in his first season.
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of other players. Yeah, I don't know. He's new.
Oh, that's right. He's on my other favorite team. Anyway.
Right. Whoever plays Calgary.
Nice.
But again, we can see these guys again. So just because you're, not hearing their names anymore after today, maybe you'll hear them later.
We could hear them again. You never know.
Wasn't there a gentleman named Amondo Sewell cut too?
He was.
I believe so in his first year. Yeah.
Look at him go now.
He's turned out all right.
He's out. Yeah, he'll do.
He can make it this year.
Yeah, he just barely.
Yeah,
he squeaked in. National defensive lineman Gabriel Bagnell, who was our draft pick from last year. So again, still a young dude.
Yep.
You never know when that could turn around. International wide receiver Tyler Batson. So
Shazam.
No more Shazam, unfortunately. International linebacker DJ Calhoun, which I really liked his hitting. So, I mean, obviously we have great guys that were left, but I think he'd be one of those guys we might hear again at some point.
Calhoun and Colhoun.
Absolutely. International linebacker Daniel Carrette. Global. Well, they put it as international.
Yeah, he's a global player, though.
Fine. All right. I knew you'd be on top of that. International defensive lineman Kyle Sayers Henderson. I think okay. International wide receiver, short shorts, Torrance Gibson.
Yeah, second time through.
Yeah, unfortunately. But again, I had a better showing in practices and games. It was a little hit and miss. But yeah. International offensive lineman Tyler Howell, so that means there's no more up top my brother number.
Nope.
That's upsetting.
Not right
now. International running back Blake Ingleton, easy for me to say. International defensive lineman Jamar King.
The curse of 79.
Just
one day.
Spot the
I think the last player to wear 79 was either Eric Taylor or Sean Lemon.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, who won 79? Derek McCready.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, then. International defensive lineman Shaquille Riddick. National defensive back O'Shane Samuels, who is a local product, so at least he's not going far. He's from here. International defensive lineman Ben Sorensen. International defensive back Jalen Spencer.
Here we go.
International wide receiver, here we go, Ron Cavian. Oh, good Lord. Tarver, who we only signed the day after.
A couple days before. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. International defensive lineman Trenton Thompson, and probably the one that kind of jumps out of the page on us, international defensive back Nick Taylor.
Yeah. That just shows what we had in some of the other guys like Josh Johnson and
Brian Walker and Taekwon Glass.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they were the three that kind of
cemented
pushed out that.
I mean, he's 32, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not only his number, but that's his age. So
yes.
He's probably not cheap.
Yeah, but he's what are you saying, JT? I do think, though, I mean, he 40 some odd tackles for us last year.
Yep.
He's
a good player.
He has a chance to land somewhere, but I think it's a matter of age and cost, right? Like, I think that's really what it comes down to when you look at some of these other guys. So moving on to our practice roster, international wide receiver Bryce Bobo.
Good call.
Excellent. Lots of stretch catching for him. Mm-hmm. He's that guy that we could see later in the year that might surprise us a little bit, I think, right? National defensive back Scott Hutter.
He was a great guy in camp, I thought. Just needs some polishing.
Yep, and brand new draft pick. So draft pick makes PR. That's a good step in your first year. International defensive lineman Darius Jackson, who definitely has pancaked a few people in the last few weeks, so kind of figured he'd be around. This one was a bit of a surprise for me. National defensive lineman Mark Mackey.
Yeah, I think that just kind of just shows what we have in guys like Jesse Joseph or Andrew Marshall.
Right.
And it's the kind of thing that they could pull him off the practice roster and move Marshall or Joseph. Yeah,
right.
To the PR and just rotate them through, depending on how things are going. So
yeah, absolutely. Because he was kind of on that rotation with Kwaku last year, so it's interesting.
But he's also can play end or tackle, so that's very flexible.
Absolutely. International defensive lineman Kelsey Quarles, who's I always have a hard time saying. I'm always going to mess up the name.
Kelsey Quarles?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. International defense. Well, global.
There we go.
Thank you. Defensive back Jose Romero.
Yep. Love his hair.
Lovely. National offensive lineman Jean-Simon Roy, who is basically the backup center.
Yep.
But has spent a number of the past years on
a couple of years. He was injured a lot in the first year. Yeah.
Exactly. So, national running back Alex Taylor, who was from the draft last year.
Yeah, needs some polishing, but he's got some explosiveness.
Yeah. And as you said, international defensive back Brian Walker, who we thought stood out quite a bit. International linebacker Jonathan Walton. Mm-hmm. Cued the theme, but I tried to put it in and can't really find a good spot to put the Waltons theme in there. International quarterback Troy Williams, who we just signed after the release of Danny O'Brien.
Yep.
So makes sense that he would go there in on the 4th.
Yep.
And global wide receiver Diego Villamontes, as we talked to him last week. So I'm glad that he gets to stay up here. And
love his enthusiasm. He's got great speed. And again, once he can learn this game, and people don't forget that next year we have 2 global spots on the roster. This year it's just 1.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 guys here that we can groom at least one of them for the roster next year, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very humble guy.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm excited for him to actually experience outside of training camp in Edmonton and then follow up with him. And what do you think it's like here?
Right.
Like, I think that's going to be really cool. I think it'll be a neat thing. Now, we did have a suspended list. And some people were asking me, what does the suspended list mean? And a lot of these guys is because they're actually going... Yeah, exactly. But they're going back to school, or they may be injured and have school... what's the word? Eligibility as well. Yep. So national defensive back Eric Blake, who is from this year in the draft.
Yep.
National wide receiver Hunter Carl,
also in the draft.
There. International defensive lineman David Perkins. Now, I wasn't sure what the story was there.
Him, I don't know yet.
Yeah. And national wide receiver Malik Richards, who was a draft pick. Yeah, and then ended up here but was injured. So that might be kind of where that lands. Yeah. And then we had a few people retire as well. National defensive back Bryce Bartlett, national kicker Greg Hutchins, who I thought actually showed pretty well in camp.
I mean, SFU?
That's interesting.
Simon Fraser University?
Sure.
I was going to say.
Yeah. I thought he did better than that,
That's
Mike.
Right.
Come on. Cheapers. But I mean, we knew Hugh was going to be the guy, but
he was also a kicker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to be Sean
99?
White.
Yeah. Well, pretty safe to say that it wasn't going to unseat either of those two, but I thought he did well. And international defensive back Robert Priester.
Great first couple of days of camp.
Absolutely. Very much stood out in the first couple of days, but got an injury. Maybe that was the time where he decided that's
or, you know what, it's just he's going to ride out the injury and see how it goes, and then maybe he can come back.
Right.
Like I said, he's got some great speed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I thought his closing speed was excellent. So. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at our projected depth chart. So, as you look at this, JT, is there a spot where you're thinking, okay, this is great, and this is where I'm really excited to see, or is there something else that jumps out at you that you're like, oh, I'm not sure?
Well, obviously, I'm excited about the linebacking core, as we talked about in the Periscope, and I really want to see Devaris Daniels light it up. Like, that was, honestly, of all the signings that happened on free agency day, to find out that Trevor Harris was saying, hey, come to Edmonton, let's do something together, that made me excited that he walked away from a pretty good situation there.
Yeah. Calgary's had a pretty decent situation.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
As long as he can stay healthy, this is going to be really scary. What they can do together.
Absolutely. Oh, and I would agree. I'm very excited to see Devaris Daniels turn up that next notch.
Yeah.
Superfan, what is jumping out to you?
A couple of spots. A field corner with Anthony Orange and Taekwon Glass. I think that's going to be a great combination if they can do a rotation. And it's going to be interesting to see how the left side of the offensive line is going to do.
Yes.
Sir Vincent Rogers is gone. Tommy Draheim draws in. I think he did fairly well at the end of the season when he came back from injury.
Absolutely.
And then are we going to see Ruby or are we going to see Bond?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Ruby right now. Just as that
he got most of the first team reps in camp, so
and we've talked about it over and over again. They need to find a spot for that seventh Canadian, and where's that going to be? So right now, as starting Canadians, we've got Kwaku for sure.
Yep.
That's pretty much a lock. Yeah.
That's the biggest lock we got on defense.
Exactly. Arjun Colquhoun could or couldn't, depending on how he's feeling.
Yeah, we might see Glass slide out there and another Canadian to be spot, or is it
or it could be even Onyeka. Exactly. Hoover likely to be the starting safety.
With Beaulieu and rotating. He was practicing again today, Bully.
So yes, absolutely, which is great. Yeah, even just for special teams.
They're very different styles.
Yeah. Hoover very much thinks the position.
He's a cerebral guy, yeah.
Right? And whereas Bully is just on instinct.
He flies around and
hits people.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting combination back and forth. So those are three spots.
Rotations.
Then we've got David Beard at center.
Yep.
And we've got Matt O'Donnell at right guard for sure. We've got Natea J likely in as a slot back.
Yep.
So that's our 6. So now the 7th, like
could
I said, it could be
spots,
Jacob Ruby. It could be Tavon Smith jumping in slot back.
Yep.
We'll have to see how that all kind of plays out.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's going to depend on injuries as well. Is Santos Knox going to be 100%? He didn't practice today, being Monday.
Yes.
We don't know. So, I mean, you suggested before we recorded, maybe that'll be Maloma Shimanga or Blair Smith in that spot.
Could be.
So we don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I agree with you, the left side of the line is something that we need to kind of be aware of.
Yep.
But, I look back at the secondary with the defense that we're running this year.
Well, I think
I'm much more confident than I was last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're going to be great. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying those are the spots I'm going to be watching because I think it's going to be interesting to see how they work some of these guys in.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think there will be some rotation.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I will say as I looked over the whole list, there wasn't one that I'm surprised he made the team. Was there anybody in there that you kind of looked at it and went, really? That kind of surprised me?
I was a bit surprised with Jesse Joseph and Marshall making it and Mackey not. I thought with his experience and his flexibility being able to move between end and tackle that Mackey would have made it and one of those two wouldn't. It was no slight against either of those two gentlemen. They, I think, played really well both in the preseason games and in camp. But again, I just thought that they would make room for Mackey for that reason.
Right.
Does the money come into that, though? Is Mackey making that much more than the two of them, maybe?
I don't know, because he'd still be on his original contract, so probably not.
Yeah, so it'd be close, I guess. But I guess I could see a little bit there. And we didn't really mention a lot of Jesse Joseph or Andrew Marshall during our camp shows, so it's not one regular name. But I don't know. I just think that you look at I think Mackey is better suited to the defensive tackle position than the end position, whereas these other two might be more of those end position type guys, right? That might be more where we're looking. If I wanted to jump out on somebody who I was super excited who made the team, it'd be Kyle Saxelid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he stood out amazingly in camp for a quote unquote rookie because he has been playing a lot of other ball, but
it's a professional rookie,
a rookie and a second round draft pick, and making the team. And actually, I don't think he looked a whole lot out of place in the stuff that I saw him doing. So,
and again, flexibility. He can play tackle and play guard.
Absolutely, and he's actually listed as a backup at a tackle position
currently.
Yeah. So,
but he can slide out, right? I mean, if he needs to move into one of those other spots.
That's right.
But then we also saw a lot of Bond playing right tackle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think that's going to be like when we had Chris Jones. We saw a lot of people shifting positions. I think you're going to see that. It's not going to be the set. No, you're a right tackle. No, you're a left. You're an outside linebacker. You're like these are guys who are going to be playing in different spots, and that's going to be confusing to the offenses.
Yeah. Oh, and the defenses. Yeah, if we're moving guys on offense, right? Yeah, absolutely. Any other guys on there that jumped out to you there, JT?
Not really. Well, Tommy Draheim, because it became a personal thing at Fan Day when he gave my boy one of his gloves. So so I'm cheering for him now. Yeah. I'm cheering for him
big time.
And you know what? I think he might. I don't know. He's going to do fine. Obviously, if he's the one they picked to fill in for Sir VR there.
Yeah.
It's just
It's the hand you're dealt. You got to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the best part about Draheim going there is that at least he has some history with Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a little bit of confidence there between the two of them. Where there isn't that, well, who's that guy protecting my backside?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that side of things.
Yeah. I'm excited about running back too.
No kidding. I set it right up for you.
I know. I mean, I'm normally very excited about running back, but Jordan Robinson had a fantastic preseason and camp, I thought.
I agree.
And having Martese Jackson hopefully healthy again gives that change of pace back. And Gable's going to get a lot more handoffs because we don't have Riley, who ran the ball as often. You've got Harris, who is more of a pocket passer. So I think we're going to see a little more out of that backfield.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I would 100% agree. I'm excited. Did you guys notice this week, even especially after they announced the cuts and where the team was, all of the interviews afterwards were really focusing on they're a tight-knit group.
Unity.
They fight for each other. It's more of a team. I'm really liking this shift that Moss has brought as far as
culture.
Really bringing these culture of these guys together. That it's you stand up for everybody on the team. I really noticed it. I don't know if you guys did or not, but I thought it was a huge thing.
Well, look back to last year. Like I talked to you guys many times. I love Duke Williams as an athlete, but he was not a team player in my eyes.
Yeah.
He was a Duke player, I thought. And I love his skills, but he just didn't seem like he cared. He was more about Duke than anybody else.
Right.
So that's just my views on that. So
yeah, and I think Mike, you and I were talking about it before we started recording, and that last year there was that one game where we were even mentioning it. It's like, well, Riley gets knocked down and nobody was helping him up. Like it was,
and it wasn't the first time.
Yeah,
it certainly had happened before.
Yeah.
I think this team needed this, and they've been preaching it since day one of camp, that it was a culture change.
Yes.
When you have 60% of your roster turnover in one season, that's a big change, and it's a chance to really instill this. And I think they've done a great job.
Oh, 60%. That's less than half, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You're welcome, Mike.
This is why you don't do my taxes.
That's right. I love to set you up just like that.
You're talking about them helping Mike up. 2015, there's always somebody rushing to Mike's aid when he went down, and somebody willing to fight for Mike. If
2017, even.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
yeah. So it's
last year. It seemed more a bunch of me's than we's. So.
Yeah,
that's a great line. Yeah, and we got a lot of we's this year.
Yeah.
Careful how we say that.
That's right.
That's lovely. All right. Well, let's. Anything else on the roster? Are you guys good with it?
Well, I think we're going to find out pretty soon. The thing is, with the roster we've got right now, there's 58 players on there.
Yes.
And you're only going to have 47, and then 2 of those are healthy scratches. So we still got a bunch of guys that are going to stub their toes.
Yeah. It's a good point to make. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to see a bunch of these. I mean, you look at this, and we've got on the run we've made up. The roster sheet we've made up, there's, 9 linebackers?
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to see all 9 make that 47.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah. All right. Well, it's going to be exciting.
Yes.
That's for sure. Let's take a really quick break, and then we will come back with our predictions, our first game preview of the season. And of course, because it's the first game, that means the reading of the night before football.
This is Jason Tucker, and you listen to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
Get loud for me. Get loud for me. Get loud for me. Hands in the crowd, we tearing it down.
You can join the Empire online.
Find us at eskempire.ca.
Check out all the new blogs and then follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
For more history, follow @Esks History on Twitter.
And even more of my pics on Esk Empire Photo.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to help the pod grow. Thanks again for listening. Let's get back to the show. We are back, and it's time for the CFPN game preview. So this is the first game of the year, Home opener against the Montreal Alouettes. Game is at 7 on the brick field at Commonwealth Stadium, which means the tailgate is at 5, and the dinner plan is...
Tacos in a bag.
Woohoo!
Oh, I cannot wait.
I think we just need to cut that out and use that at the beginning. Tacos in a bag. So, no, it's very, very exciting. It's going to be a fun night. Of course, we get to see our team together for the first time playing, and they're playing Montreal, so at least, it's good to have your third preseason game against Montreal. Yep. That works out very well.
Except it counts.
But that would be even better for us.
Exactly.
That's great.
Either them or Ottawa this year, right?
I'd be okay with that. Now, it's also Fred Stamps night, and at halftime there will be Tom Cochran and Red Ryder. So for the first time in a number of years, there will be no Westivus.
At least not with us.
Game. You can go stand there, but we will be sitting and watching.
And while you're there, you could get us some mini donuts. I'm just saying.
C22, that's fine. Delivery is great. Yeah. F30.
Yeah. Still feels weird to say.
So you're part of the F troop.
That's right.
Sweet. Love it. Before we get into our game part, of course,
there's a game.
It is also the return of the Uncle BD stats moment.
Oh, yes.
So now the Esks have had, I love this one.
Yes.
The Esks have had less than 10 penalties in 10 consecutive regular season games.
Most of those were Chris Edwards.
Most of them.
Hey, he got better near the end. Come on.
He did.
Come on.
But he's with BC now, so I hope
now
he gets
won't
back
do
to
it. Now he won't do it.
Yeah.
They just won't call him.
But he could.
Yeah.
It'd be fine if he would.
Yeah. Oh, no, I would not be opposed to that at all.
That's right. Absolutely. But the reason that I wanted to actually bring that up is just because we always get the question: is there a discipline issue?
The first half of the season last year was discipline. The second half was turnovers.
That's right, and we got better on the discipline side of it. So hopefully,
and that's when the turnovers started.
Clean up both, and then it'll be great. Yeah. Now T Sniper has had 20 plus completions in 13 consecutive games, and yes, from now on, I'm calling Trevor Harris T Sniper.
Oh, I think it's time for me to go home, boys.
Oh, come on. That's an outstanding nickname.
We had a good run. A good run.
So 20 plus completions. We will take more of that. Yep. Now, there is a little bit of dispute if you look on the CFL website, but I always believe Uncle BD.
So do I.
In that Calvin will get to 200 games played as an Eskimo this year, and that's at game 7. Thank you. Yes. Oh, he'll be fine. Come on.
That's why I'm talking.
It's Calvin.
I mean, this is Calvin's 13th season in the CFL.
Yeah.
All of them with Edmonton. You don't see a lot of players that play that long with one team.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I mean, he's getting in the top 5 for games played, seasons played kind of thing. So
absolutely.
He's like the Mandrusiak of players.
Edmonton's oldest teenager?
That's right. Frosted Tips, is that what you're talking about?
Yep, that's right, yes. We're waiting for him and Kinger to both get Frosted Tips to just be part of the team for that long.
Wait, Ryan King?
Absolutely.
Oh, come on.
Have you seen him with his helmet off?
Yeah.
There's no tips to Frost.
Oh, no, he'll find a way. He really wants to help.
Eyebrows? He's got eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Goatee.
Yeah, he's got a great big beard now.
Oh, he does.
There, see? Perfect. That'll work.
He's got some frosting on there already.
Nice. Well, for the Alouettes side of the ball, let's check in first with our good friend from the Canadian Football Podcast Network, the show The Alouettes Flight Deck. It is the one and only CliffyD. Welcome back to the Turf District, man.
Once again, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We love having you on, and seems every time we have you on, there's some type of massive change with your team. Last time it was the breaking news that Manziel was being traded to Montreal, and this time it's you seem to be switching coaches at last minute. So how do you kind of see the team responding as they come into this first game this week?
It's going to be interesting. That's for sure. I mean, to trade to get rid of your head coach, basically right before the regular season starts is unprecedented. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before, but certainly not in Montreal. And it just seems to be par for the course as far as like wacky stuff happening in Montreal. I mean, it definitely makes for an interesting scenario. The one thankful thing that I'm grateful for is that at least we've now got a head coach with CFL experience, which we didn't have before, really. I mean, unless you want to count your first year of being a CFL coach as having CFL experience. So, I mean, wow. I mean, where else can we go from here? That's at this point, though. I've just come to the conclusion that, you know what, what's going to happen is going to happen, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride, quite frankly.
So, is this, do you think, addition by subtraction?
It's hard to say, really, because again, yes, Kahari Jones has CFL experience. He has worked as a coordinator in the past. He has he's a former player in this league, so I mean, he definitely knows the CFL up and down. I have no qualms about Kahari being named head coach. I'm sure this wasn't the way he envisioned himself becoming a head coach in the Canadian Football League, but he's playing the cards that he's dealt. Yeah, to me, it's just kind of weird, though. Like, if the plan was, if the reason why you're getting rid of him, and this is what was told at the press conference, was that the main reason for Sherman's dismissal was because he wasn't adapting to the Canadian game fast enough. Well, then why did you go through the whole off season, training camp, and 2 preseason games to finally make this determination? Like, it doesn't wash with me, quite frankly, and I don't think it washed with anybody else listening in on that conference call. It just seemed so bizarre to go through all those machinations, and then this is your end product just to make Kahari the head coach. It's just one of a million bizarre things that have happened in Montreal over the past few years, and that's probably why I'm so I guess kind of blasé about it, because like, what else are you gonna do? What else are you gonna do? Like, it's just
hold my
like beer. I said, like at this point, you can hit me with just about anything. I'll be like, okay, sure, no problem. All right, cool. Yeah. Like, what else? What else you got?
Well, from the flip side of the coin, though, you've been following this team for a while. What's there to be really excited about for the 2019 Alouettes?
I tell you what, they're on paper. This is a team that's going to contend. You've got some real studs on defense. You've got playmakers on offense. Devere Posey, holy crap. Like, this kid came as advertised. Wow. I mean, just seeing him in training camp, just the first day making ridiculous catches. Like, I'm like, wow. I mean, you can bag on Kavis Reed all you want, and maybe he deserves some of it, but being able to get Posey to come to Montreal was a masterstroke, and I think Alouettes fans are going to be snapping up a lot of these Devere Posey jerseys, because this kid is a baller, and he is going to, regardless of who the quarterback is going to be, he's going to make plays happen, and I am here all day for that. There is a lot to be excited about. It's going to be weird, though, just because the coaching situation really doesn't lend itself to a successful environment. But this could be one of those things where the players just sort of, hype themselves up. They get themselves amped up for the games. And it could be one of those things where, I don't want to necessarily say in spite of the coaches, but just they're going to do it for themselves, kind of thing. That's how I see this working. And really, I think this team is going to make a lot of people kind of take a second look.
Awesome. And I mean, the addition of Taylor Lafleur in the defensive backfield isn't a bad thing either. I mean, he makes he makes offenses pay attention. Anyway, let's just put it that way.
You talk about a guy that again, nobody was expecting this to happen, especially he was so coveted, and I really truly thought too he was going to stay in Winnipeg, just because how do you let a guy like that go? But I mean, Montreal just sort of swoops in at dead of night and signs Taylor Lafleur. Like, I'm lying in bed just going through Twitter, and I see the news. I'm like, no, it doesn't take much for me to sit up and take notice, but holy crap, that would be the one thing that would do, is like, Taylor Lafleur is coming to the Alouettes. Hello.
We know which jersey you're getting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now, as they go into this game, though, what do you see as kind of the biggest challenge when they come up against the Eskimos?
I think the biggest challenge, and I always look at the first game of the season as essentially a third preseason game. Like, you're still going to be fine-tuning things. Like, you're still going through the things that you've gone through in training camp, and it's still going to take time for things to gel. So I think, based on what we saw in the preseason game versus Ottawa, there was definitely a lot to like. There was a lot of things that clicked right away. And I definitely will expect to see a lot of that in Friday's game, but there'll be a few things that need to be fine-tuned as well. And again, these are things that only time is going to fix any of these problems. And I think we'll see a lot of that. I think what helps, though, is now we know for a fact that it definitely will be Antonio Pipkin as the starting quarterback for the Alouettes. Now you know, okay, he's your guy. And I don't think they're going to go through what they did last year with basically the carousel. I think good or bad, as long as he's healthy, as long as he can get out onto the field and throw a football, Antonio Pipkin will be on the field. Even if they're getting blown out, I still think they're going to make him work through it. They're going to make him man up and become that starting quarterback that everybody expects him to be. And I think he'll be ready for that challenge too. I really got the impression during camp that both he and Vernon Adams, they want this. They want to be leaders on this team. And if that's what the 1-2 punch is going to be, is Antonio Pipkin and Vernon Adams, once again, Alouettes fans, they can have hope. They can have hope that despite all the nonsense that's going on off the field, at least the on-field product has the potential to be something really interesting.
Awesome. Well, we love having you on here, Cliffy. Why don't you plug the show and, of course, all your work online so people know where to find you?
Alrighty. Well, again, you can always hear my thoughts on the Montreal Alouettes on the Alouettes Flight Deck podcast. You can find that over at www.alouettesflightdeck.ca, or follow us on social media at Alouettes FL Deck. That's myself and Tim Capper that do that. We are going to be releasing a show this week and every week, right all the way up to the season. We're back in podcast form, and we're both pretty excited about that. If you'd rather just read my thoughts on the Montreal Alouettes, you can certainly do so at the Alternative. That's at www.alternative.com. And by all means, shoot me a follow on Twitter if you want to talk Alouettes football. I'm at CliffyD. That's at CLIFFYD.
Awesome, dude. And as always, we wish you the best of luck in week 2. And other than that, we will be friends again sometime around, 10:30 Alberta time on Friday night.
As I've always said, when it comes to these games, for 3 hours, business is business.
As it should be. Thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
Like you said, when the game's over, we'll be back on, and we'll be back, going towards the greater good of just enjoying Canadian football. And let's not forget, it's back. We have CFL back. Like, how do you not get excited about that?
Exactly. Amen. And the night before football is about to happen, so we're very excited. As always, man, thank you so much for joining us, and we love chatting with you, and we'll chat with you again, hopefully without so much of a bombshell later in the season.
Let's hope so, because I think we've had enough excitement now for a decade. I mean, really, truly.
May you live in interesting times.
Yes, indeed.
It's always fun to talk to Cliffy, and
for sure.
Glad he was back on and joined us for this. And we're going to try and do that with a different podcaster every week as we ramp up each game. Now, for the Eskimos side of the ball, let's start with you, JT. What are you most excited to see in this game?
The linebacking core together. Hopefully, Santos Knox can get on the field.
We can hope. Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. Honestly, I'm excited to see this team. Like,
that whole defense can be just scary.
Just it's a new team for me.
Yeah,
like as you guys know,
it's a new team for most of us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a all new faces. Yeah.
Well, as you two know, last year Brock had to do some work to win me over, and it only took him 12 hours on free agency day.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I like you again.
Yeah. All right, you can pass. Yeah, that's good.
You can still work here.
Excellent.
You may work here.
You didn't pull out the JT cut for Brock's.
No.
He gets to stick around. All right. Superfan?
You know what? I'm actually really excited to see the return game. I'm thinking that's going to be seeing AJ Gass introducing some new schemes. Martese Jackson was back playing, and even when he wasn't, I thought Jordan Robinson stepped in beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got quite a few returners on the team. Stangby made the team. Mm-hmm. Shai Ross made the team. They were both doing some returning, and then the other two gentlemen. So I think we could see some, dare I say, some fields that are not quite so tilted in their favor.
You mean higher than a 5-yard average?
That'd be. I just don't want to be starting every drive on the 5.
Oh,
yeah. Even on the other side of the 25, I'd be excited, or 20. for that matter, because we started a lot inside our own 20. So, no, and that I was going to say the same thing. I'm excited to see special teams. Jeez. That's right. I can change it up.
You do the offense.
I am excited to see these receivers.
Yeah, see the offense.
We've got Trevor Harris now, who's been 3 weeks in the system.
Yep.
Had lots of time to learn and kind of
and
connect
Moss
with some
is a
of
quarterback
these guys.
whisperer.
He is. He finds a way.
He's had a couple of guys be MOP under him. So,
well, I'm excited to see what those guys can do together. It's going to be very, very exciting. Is there a player in particular that you're going to be watching the most?
Devaris Daniels. And him and CJ Gable, a little bit more Daniels, because he was a solid player when Mike was saying, when he's healthy in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see him healthy, and obviously he left where he was, a good situation, great situation for a reason, right? To play with Trevor Harris and the rest of the guys. So I want to see him light it up this year.
Awesome. Super fan?
I'm going to go with Larry Dean. I've been singing his praises since he was signed. I thought he was the most exciting guy that we had signed, period, on that defense. And that's no slouch to Anamba. That's no slouch to so many of the guys we
Don't
signed.
slouch the president, dude.
No, absolutely. I think they're all outstanding. It's just Dean, I think, is going to be the straw that stirs that drink on defense. He's middle linebacker, and we've had a long history of amazing middle linebackers, so can't wait to see the next one.
Absolutely. I am going to go out on the corner to one Anthony Orange. Orange is the new green and gold. I'm excited to see how that corner gets locked down. A lot of those guys are going to be going up against some of these, this DeVere Posey that Cliff just talked about. There's going to be a lot of receivers going there, and I think our guys have got to be up to the challenge. So I'm excited to see what happens in the secondary in general, but I'm going to really be watching Anthony Orange because we didn't really get to see much of him in the preseason. So I want to see what that's like, having another shutdown corner on that side, because we've kind of been missing that the last
people forget he was here before, mostly because he had a different name.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was AJ Jefferson back then.
Yes, exactly. So, and I was excited when he came then. Yep. So I'm excited to see.
He was an all-star last year. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will take it.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, as far as doing our pick'ems this year, we're changing it up just a tad. We will do our pick'ems as we always do, but this year we are all picking the Esks to keep things positive. I am not going to be picking against them all year.
Not this week.
Not this week, for sure. But I'm going to keep it that way. So each week I'm going to pick a stat, and we can say if we kind of get there or not. We'll just kind of do an over-under type idea. Okay. So I'll give you an easy one this week. Does T-Sniper throw for more than 300 yards this week? Start with you, JT.
Yes.
You're going over?
Over.
Okay.
Over 350.
Super fan.
Oh, over 350.
Over 3. Whoa, that's really
interesting.
Wow, that's a nice start.
It's Montreal.
Does he play the whole game? They were like, let's just put someone else in. Mercy rule.
Those are the first half numbers.
Oh, I'm not getting this overconfident. No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think he's going to. I think that he's going to want to come out and show everyone that he's the guy. He's got some great weapons to throw to. I mean, we've had, how long are we into the show? And no one's mentioned Greg Ellingson.
Absolutely.
I mean,
who's that?
Yeah. The guy that's got the most, the absolute most chemistry with Trevor Harris as a receiver. And I think I'm hoping he's a forgotten man.
Yeah, I hope so too. I was waiting to just let it go.
Yeah.
But if you're listening, and we know he does.
Yes.
As soon as he catches that first touchdown, I want snow angels in the end zone.
Oh, now we're talking.
No snow, I understand, but I want those snow
angels.
I want
turf angels.
Turf angels. I'm excited with that because to me, I think we need to just get that out of our system.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. I am actually going to go. I think that Trevor Harris throws for under 300 because I think we're going to see a lot of CJ Gable in this game.
Oh, I would be happy with that.
And I think that
he could throw it to Gable too,
well, he could, yeah. But I think we're going to see a lot of CJ Gable, and I think that Harris even said himself that it's a very difficult system to learn, and I think he's going to get better as the season goes along. I think the Eskimos still win, but I just think that I think we're going to see a lot more running.
It's going to depend on the Montreal secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have half of that in one play.
That's entirely
well,
possible.
Quite, but,
pretty close. Yeah.
A third easily.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Say, what kind of field do you play on?
I'm not going to
150 yards all the way.
I'm not going to complain. If he does that, that's wonderful. Let's go through our other games because, hey, we have other games
we
to talk about. That's so exciting. All right, so on Thursday night, the whole season kicks off with Saskatchewan in Hamilton. JT, who do you got winning that game?
Based on my gut or what I want?
You can pick whichever one you would like.
If you're doing pick'ems, what are you picking?
I think now that I think about it, I think Hamilton's going to win it. They're at home.
Yeah,
they got their most, like, obviously losing their linebacking core to us didn't help them, but they got a quarterback.
But it helped us.
Oh, it helped us a ton.
Yeah.
But I think they're at home, which used to be a tough field for people to play on.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to take it. It's going to be a tight one, but I think they'll take it.
All right. Superfan?
Yeah, I agree with JT. I think this is going to be the home team winning in this one. I think Saskatchewan is going to do better than a lot of people give them credit for.
Yep.
I'm still not sold on Collaros at quarterback. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and hoping for different results.
Yep.
I mean, maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe he'll round back to that early 2015 form. But, I mean, we're talking this is the fifth season since then. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I have to go with Hamilton in this one. I just think Holy Mazzoli comes out and shows everybody that, let's make a statement early.
Yeah, sure.
So I have a feeling that offense really rolls, and the Hamilton defense might not be in midseason form yet, so I'll give Saskatchewan a few points, but I think that Hamilton offense is ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
So, all right, next one is Ottawa versus Calgary. This is in Calgary. Do I even have to go around the table?
No,
we're all picking that.
I think
other team.
I haven't seen enough of Ottawa in the preseason to really have much of a sense on them, but they were just ravaged in that offseason.
But against Calgary?
And it's against Calgary, but again, Calgary was also certainly hurt on defense, especially. We're going to see.
They didn't look that way in the preseason, let me tell you that. I know it's preseason, but still. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I don't think... But I'm not picking Ottawa on this game.
So we'll all go with the Black Reds on that one.
I'm just hoping Ottawa can score, to be honest with you.
I hope they do.
Yeah. Like even a Rouge I'll take.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone Moretti is just all excited.
Rouge! That's right. All right, and the last game, which I think could be the game of the week for the opening week, Winnipeg versus BC. This is in BC Place. Superfan, start
Can
with
they
you.
both lose?
I would hope so.
That would be nice.
So predicting a tie is what you're saying.
Well, that would be great.
That'd be great.
It could happen.
I would be very happy with that. However, I think, honestly, Winnipeg is probably the team that was affected least in the offseason. I think they have the most chemistry going together. I think they'll do better earlier than a lot of other teams. So I'm going to go with Winnipeg beating the hometown BC Lions.
I'm right with you on that. I was going to go with Winnipeg. I know Mike wants to come out and put on a show.
Sure he does.
Home opener.
This Mike?
Not that Mike.
Okay.
I do.
Riley. Yeah, you always put on a show every week.
Every week.
But it is, I know Riley wants to get out there and give the hometown something to cheer about. But I think they're going to need some time to gel. Just kind of like I just said with Trevor Harris. Like, I don't expect him just to pick it up in the offense and be exactly, have it all down. Yeah. So I think there's going to be a lot of install still going on there. And Winnipeg, on the other hand, they're running basically the same offense. So I think it'll be very interesting. But I'm going to give a slight edge to Winnipeg and a close one, though.
Yeah.
You too, JT?
Yeah, I'm picking Winnipeg. Like, BC's got Mike, but they have a fairly rookie coaching staff.
Yes.
And look, they lost guys too. Like they got Mike, and then they lost Anthony Orange. They had to get rid of Solomon.
Yeah.
Like they didn't keep everybody. Like
no.
And then they got that 89 guy. He's going to be a problem.
But he usually isn't a problem right away.
But with that coaching staff, they're going to have a tough time.
It's a very young coaching staff. These are all guys that are first timers in some of the positions they're in.
And did he not play with Nick Lewis?
Yeah.
And he played with Nick Lewis in Montreal, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean,
fun.
It'll be fun, but I mean,
But when you got Mike Riley, you always have a chance to win a game.
That's very true. Very, very true. It'll be an exciting one to watch.
Wish we had more chances last year, but yeah.
Yeah, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. Now, I do want to talk just briefly about, in our Canadian Football Podcast Network, Ryan from Canadian Football Countdown has actually set up a head-to-head fantasy league that we're going to play. We're still going to use the CFL fantasy rules, but we are going to be going up against other podcasters throughout the season. There's 10 of us involved.
I got a couple of killer back-to-backs.
Oh, well, I start with against Brazilian Ty, the guy who has every stat known to man as far as fantasy is concerned. Yeah, I'm not looking good for this first opening week, I don't think. But, Mike, you get BB Can Ryan to start up the season.
I do.
Yeah.
That guy.
It's good versus evil. It's a tale as old as time. Good versus evil.
They're going to continue with Beauty and the Beast there.
Whatever.
Well, I'm not sure which one is which.
I was going to Beast and Beast. It would be better.
Okay.
Beast and Beaster.
Lovely. That sounds a little bit better. No, I'm really excited about this. I wanted to say thank you to Ryan for setting it up.
This is a lot of fun.
There'll be a bunch of us talking about it every week, so I think it'll be a fun thing to follow along. I think it'll be a blast, and of course, being part of the CFPN is a great thing to do these types of things. All right, gentlemen, let's look into our crystal balls.
Let's.
I know how much you love it when I say that.
Oh, yeah. You can see everyone cringing.
We need to do some predictions for this year. And I did grab some from Commissioner Kayla as well. So I have her predictions here. Let's start with the East. Where do you think the East ends up, and how do the standings finish? Let's start with you there, JT.
I'm putting Hamilton in first.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're all in agreement.
I think so. It was a tougher division last year to get a lot of wins.
Yes.
So, or at least for them to get wins. And I don't know if it's necessarily going to be any better. The West is still really strong. So they're going to have to just sort of cannibalize each other to get those wins maybe. And Hamilton's probably the best of the lot.
Yeah, probably. And even Commissioner just put number 1, Holy Mazzoli. That's fine. Who do you got finishing in second?
Oh, see, that's where I'm torn. I honestly, I'm going to go with dark horse here. I'm going to say Montreal gets together, goes second place.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah. All right, then. Third?
Toronto.
Okay.
And Ottawa
in fourth. Okay.
Unfortunately, they're going to struggle, and that scares me with those two markets, Montreal and Ottawa, because the fans get fickle when they start losing, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, but Montreal's had it for a number of years, and they're kind of fluctuating. But yeah there's a good chance they could.
Well, if you're right, and Montreal gets in second, then
then that would help.
Toronto too. So
yeah. What do you got there, Superfan?
Pretty close to JT. I'm going to flip Toronto and Montreal.
Okay.
I think Montreal is going to be stronger this year. Mm-hmm. Ottawa, it's going to take a while to recover from that off season. Yeah. Lost a lot of players, and they're going to have to find that identity again. I think it's going to be a tougher year for them, but I think that they'll hopefully get a better second half and go into next year.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah, and I'm in agreement with you. I was going Hamilton, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. Yeah. And Commissioner is going Hamilton, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. So
there you go. The only one that didn't pick Ottawa last.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some Red Blacks fans that really like Kayla.
Right.
And that's
CliffyD, not so happy.
And now they like her even more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well played. That's right. Yeah.
We're not dead last.
We're not exactly. I'm not dead yet. Yeah. Let's move over to the West. Oh, Superfan, I'm going to make you pick first this time. So what's your predictions for the West?
Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Until somebody knocks Calgary off that top spot, I'm still going to give them first.
Okay.
I think Winnipeg is going to be up there as well. Again, the continuity.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Edmonton in third.
Okay.
I'm going to put BC in fourth and Saskatchewan last.
All right. Do you want to go, JT, or you want me to go?
I can go.
Okay.
I'm going Winnipeg first.
Okay.
They're knocking Calgary off. Calgary second.
Okay.
Edmonton third. BC fourth, and then Saskatchewan. But last place team will still have a better record than third place in the East.
Okay.
It's another crossover.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Should be a double crossover. Anyway.
It should be. All right, so Commissioner K has the West as the Stamps, the Eskimos.
Interesting.
The Bombers, the Lions, which could be very close between the two of those, and then the Riders in fifth.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of all going the same way.
Very similar, yeah.
I'm very close to you, Superfan. I've got the Stamps in first. I have got the Bombers in second. I've got BC in third. I've got us in fourth, and
so we're the
Riders
crossover.
in fifth. I think we may be the crossover. Now, the reason that I picked that is not because I don't have faith in the team.
But you don't.
I do.
I thought we were being positive this year.
I am being positive. I just think that this is going to come down to there's going to be a lot of teams in that 10-8 range, and it's going to come down to head to head, and the team that we get at home twice is Calgary, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's correct.
Right? But the team we play on the road twice is BC, and we suck when we play in BC for some reason.
That's true.
And Riley will have something to prove.
Me too.
When we get into BC Place. So I think it's going to come down to just like it'll be that close, and that's why I put the Lions ahead of the Eskimos. But I think it'll be any of those three teams could interchange, honestly.
I think really almost any of the four.
Really, yeah. Even five. I'll even give the Riders a little bit of credit that they could pop up because their defense is still going to be very good.
Oh yeah,
and
I think
now
the defensive players
Powell,
but we've
right?
got a very different defensive mind,
right,
at the defensive coordinator position.
So we'll see how much he's learned because he's followed Chris Jones for a number of years.
Jones followed Lolly.
Yeah. So we'll have to see, right?
See, and by putting Riders last, I'm not saying they're going to be a 2-16 team.
No.
You got to put them in.
They could be 9-9.
Yeah,
right?
It's just looking at whoever, like on the surface, looking at every team.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Yeah, they still have Coloros.
They're going to be good.
Yeah,
but, like my brother-in-law is a huge Riders fan. When they re-signed Zach, he wasn't mad that at the quarterback signing. He was mad that Zach is still playing, considering his health.
Oh,
right.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And will he do the whole season?
Yeah, and that was my brother-in-law's fear. Is not that he's going to suck. It's that is he going to survive?
Right. And if he does, then maybe they do better than we're giving them credit for. But if he doesn't, which unfortunately is a tad more likely,
the defense outscored the offense last year, and Columbus did play a lot of those games.
Yeah. Well, not as many. I mean, he sat out half of them anyway. Yeah. So, but we will see for sure. All right, MOP. Let's do a quick prediction on who we think will be MOP this year. I am going with Mazzoli, actually. I think that he was the East MOP last year. I think he's gonna run the table in the East this year. I think he's really gonna show up and put a lot of stuff on the board. So I'm gonna go with Mazzoli, which is the same as what Commissioner did. But she said, or if they go unconventional, which they don't usually do for MOP, she's going to pick Don Unaba as the MOP.
Ooh, interesting.
As a major linebacker.
Wow.
That's an interesting pick. Yeah, I mean, they have picked a linebacker before. Solomon got it. So, there's an outside chance.
Yeah, but he's a defensive back. They've never picked a defensive back.
Well, I guess. But he plays Sam linebacker.
Yeah, but it's a nickelback position.
Yeah.
He's a sixth defensive back.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
Unconventional. That's
he never even made it most of the time defensive player. I mean, basically one.
Well,
Javon Johnson. That was it.
Good. We'd be happy with that.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. JT.
I'm going to have to go with Mike. I think he's got something to prove after last year. Mike Riley, not this Mike.
I am the MOP.
You always are the MOP. That's right.
I just think after last year wasn't a Mike year, I think he's going to, like you said, have something to prove. He's going to get that BC market back up and running. So,
all right.
As much as I don't want to see it,
that's okay.
Mike's still a great football player.
The MOP doesn't have to play in the Grey Cup game. It's fine.
We proved that.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, exactly.
It's true. I'm going to go with Andrew Harris.
Oh,
I think he's going to have a pretty strong year. He's got an offense that's had a lot of continuity. He's flirted.
Just as we talk about BC, here comes Max. Yeah.
He's flirted with that 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing, and I think he's going to have a good year doing both. And if he ever does get to that 1,000, I think he's going to be pretty hard to beat as MOP.
Absolutely. I do like that you picked A. Harris.
That's true.
Yeah. Either would be fine.
I figure this way I'm happy. If our Harris wins, I'm even happier.
That's right. Yes. Go Hair Eye.
I want him to win. I don't care if he wins the MOP. I just want him to win the most exciting player of the Grey Cup.
Oh, good idea. I like that better. All right. So Grey Cup game. Who's in it and who wins it? JT, I'll start with you.
I think it's going to be an all-West Grey Cup.
All West for the first time.
Interesting.
All-West for the first time.
Okay. Who do you got in there?
I'm going to be a homer. It's going to be Edmonton and Winnipeg.
Okay. Yeah. And we're coming over as a crossover team.
Yeah, even though I picked them third.
That's
kind of...
That's a little interesting, but okay. So, and who's winner?
I just want to see a good game. I just want them all to have
staying
fun.
Positive.
I want them all to have fun.
Everyone gets participation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
No, I want Edmonton to win it, obviously.
Well, obviously. So. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Superfan?
You know what? I've said it many times. We had Ottawa winning in Toronto. We had Toronto winning in Ottawa. Yes. Calgary won in Edmonton. This one's in Calgary, so I think it's only fair that Edmonton hoists that big silver chalice.
And who are they going to be playing against?
I think it's going to be Hamilton. I think Hamilton is going to... They learned a lot in the massive loss they had to Trevor Harris.
Yes.
Who had 6 touchdowns in one game.
Yes. He could do that again.
Sounds like Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Polkai.
Yeah.
Nice.
Classics. Nice. I think, it's going to be at Edmonton Hamilton, and I'm hoping it's a replay of the 1980 Grey Cup, which was a lot of fun to watch.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I do remember
48-10, good game.
Love it. Yeah, it was a close one.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Absolutely, yeah. My heart is exactly like you, Mike. I'm going Edmonton and Hamilton in the final, with Edmonton pulling it off. My brain says that one of the streaks ends this year, and it's Winnipeg and Hamilton in the Grey Cup, and Hamilton is going to pull it off.
1990.
That's what I think is going to happen.
That's Winnipeg.
That's Winnipeg.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
I know, we get to keep saying it.
Oh, I was going to say. I was like, come on, Mike, you're better than that.
Yeah. And Commissioner also picked Esks and Ticats with the Esks winning, because that's what she wants. That's her dream.
That's what we all want.
All right. Predictions are so much fun, and then we'll all prove ourselves wrong by the end of the year, and that'll be perfectly fine.
Come on, I picked a third place finish, and then they become a crossover
team. You can make that happen.
Exactly. Well, let's do some quick plugs. JT, where does everybody find you online and all those fun things?
I honestly still don't know.
You still? Okay.
I have it. I just don't know it. Okay. I'm sure Mike can look it up and insert it.
I will put it with the show when we put it
JT _West.
I think that's
it's
what it is.
J. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. My Instagram's JTW79, but that's private because I have pictures of my son, so you have to request the follow there. But
makes sense.
You guys have to look at my Twitter. I don't really go there very often.
J_T_West.
There you go. That's me.
Really tough.
Sorry, guys. I was even going to write that down for you guys.
Well, that's all right. This was much more fun.
Sorry.
Superfan?
I don't know. No, you can find me at 56 Parkies.
Perfect. You can find me at Freepalicious. Of course, the show at Esk Empire Pod. Make sure you're following Pay It Forward with Football on Facebook and get those nominations into Quentin and Samantha. They did pick someone for this game.
There's a game right a week after.
It'll be very exciting. Yeah, exactly. And of course, while you're on there, make sure you find us on all of our social channels, and you can find all of the links on eskempire.ca, including the old shows. We will be back next week to talk the first game, of course, and set up our next game, and we will have a brand new featured fan. So, are we ready for a Game 1 win over the Owls?
Absolutely.
Now, before we sign off this week, it is time for the annual tradition and the reading of 'Twas the Night Before Football. Is everyone comfy? Excellent. Thank you. I wish this was a video podcast, Superfan. All right, here we go. 'Twas the night before football all across this great nation. CFL is returning to the fans' jubilation. Fans come in all sizes, some young and some old, and they all wear their colors green, red, black, or gold. They've been waiting since winter, saying, "Is it May yet?" Now the camps are all over and the roster's all set. Every fan is a flutter, every stadium done up, every team is just hoping to win the Grey Cup. The TSN show, now you can watch mobile. Rod Black's favorite word is sure to be global. The East starts with Hamilton and an Oski wee wee, expecting Mazzoli things from the East MOP. The Argos start fresh, lots of issues to hurdle. We'll see so many passes to Walker from Turtle. The Ottawa play calling will be more than complex. To see all their players, our nation could watch the Esks. The Als changed the coach last minute on purpose. Can Kahari right the ship, or is it still a circus? The Bombers keep building, their fans still persistent. Will they break the curse due to being most consistent? Stamps are the champs, reigning and defending. Everyone else hopes the winning is ending. The Lions got Riley, he is their man. If he can't get them there, great. The Riders stand pat, Colorado's still the chucker. They better hope Powell can run like a fire trucker. And then there's our Esks. New players, new places. That linebacking core will put smiles on our faces. T-Sniper, Earthquakeu, the President, and the Dean, making plays on the field like we've never seen. Brock built this team for the casual or diehard. Let's return the favor and win in the Stamps' backyard. Each team starts out even. Each team has a chance. Each D to prevent, each O to advance. The season goes quick, let's all try to remember. The effort starts now, so you play in November. So it's time, hurry quick, grab a drink and a snack. It's time for CFL kickoff, baby. Football is back. For JT, Commissioner Kayla, and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.